And why aren't you an actual doctor?
Big fan of this guy's videos. He offers a lot of useful information to medics, nurses, residents. Everyone can benefit from a lot of his content. And I see this sentiment often, usually between pre-meds or medical students. If you want to be a doctor, why don't you lift the heavy books or whatever? But it's important to remember that you don't have to be a doctor to provide a lot of clinical information for doctors. A lot of the policy in America today is written and signed by people who are not healthcare professionals at all, and it affects millions of patients. There are a lot of our critical care nurses that, for me as an intern, have saved me multiple times and have in turn saved patients. There are PAs and NPs that, at the end of the day, don't have the same billing ability as a attending does, but they have done this for decades longer than I have. They've done more central lines than some of our attendings, and they can offer a lot of good teaching value. Emergency medicine is a big team sport. Oftentimes you don't have enough people to help take care of a patient, so you kind of just help in ways you can. And that's my first sentiment when I see video responses like that. You don't have to be a physician to provide a lot of helpful information and provide really good care to patients. A lot of different professions can do that. The second point of the video was choosing to go back to medical school as a non-traditional student. Now, that's something that I didn't have to grapple with. I only had 2 gap years between the two, so as far as I'm concerned, I was still a traditional student. The one thing he did mention, and that I'll encourage him on, is balancing having a family while in medical school. Now, this is different for everybody, and people have different priorities when it comes to having a family or waiting to have a family at any level of training. But the 2 things that I know to be true about this gentleman is the fact that you are prioritizing other people so highly in your career goals just says so much to you as a partner and as a father, and that your priorities really have their best interest in mind. And what I would encourage him with is that there is probably no great time to go back to medical school, similar to how there is no great time to have a family or have children, because it's not like, 5 years from now when I'm an attending, I'm going to have all this time. I'm not going to have time ever. That's how this always works. So whether he decides to go into medical school and to do EMFM, which is a tremendous training opportunity for rural programs, or if he decides not to go back to medical school, the things that I know to be true are you have a great love for your family, your priorities are in a great place, and he's going to have a tremendous benefit to patients regardless of what he chooses. So I wish him luck, and I think people should give him a follow.